Hey there, fight friends. We are lucky today to be joined by Christien the Tiger Savoie, who is fighting in the main event this weekend, FLA 22. Christien, how are you doing?
I'm really good, brother. Yeah, how are you?
I couldn't be better. I get to speak with guys like you. Life is a dream. Thank you. So anyway, getting to it, you've got a huge fight this weekend. You've got a quite an extensive career. You've got a record of what 10-2, I think it is 10-2-1 maybe.
Yeah.
And this though could possibly be the most important fight of your career. I know people say that all the time, but there's a lot's changed in your career since your last fight. Your last fight, of course, was Dana White's Contender Series, where you had quite a significant injury, so you've taken time off to recover from that. And then I know recently I saw you make some type of post, social media post, saying that you'll have to see how it goes. A fighter's career is only so long, so if you win this one, great, and if you don't win this one, then that might have consequences. What are your thoughts leading up to the importance of this fight this weekend?
Um, I guess it's exactly what I said, man. And just to elaborate, I'm 33. I know that Father Time is undefeated. That being said, don't get me wrong. I feel great. I feel like I'm in my prime. I'm a guy who's taking care of myself and la di da di da. But you know, fighting is tough, man. And yeah, I just have in my mind that if God's will is to have me in the UFC, then great. If not, then I'm at peace, man. I've done decent amount on the Canadian scene, and I've pretty much, in my mind, I've accomplished everything but fight in the UFC. But don't take that as a lack of hunger or anything. Like I'm gonna go out there and do my thing on Saturday.
You know what? It's a great attitude though, because it's so true. Like, I had this young kid come up to me in the gym years ago named Cam, and he was, I think, 16 years old, and he said, Andy, I want to fight in the UFC. I think that's going to be a great, great career, and like, I think I'm going to make a living doing that. And he said, what do you think? And I said, well, I think if you think you're going to fight in the UFC, just stop now. I didn't say those words, but I said, I'm not going to say you're not going to make it, but it's not easy. The amount of people that try to make it in the UFC and the people that make it actually make it in the UFC, it's a huge disparity in that number. So it's
I
not
would want to
easy.
know
And
what that number is. Like, it's probably, what do you think, like 0.3%,
it's got to be something small. I remember watching some kind of NFL thing years ago too, where they actually broke it down between the amount of high school football players compared to college football players compared to NFL players, and the number was staggeringly low. Like, in order to be, and like just because you train mixed martial arts doesn't mean you're going to make it in the UFC. There's so much more has to go into it. You can be an excellent fighter too, but that doesn't mean you're going to win all the fights. Might have bad matchups. You might get injured. Might just be a year where the UFC is not signing people. It's tough, tough, tough. So to stick with it, like a person in your position, to stick with it. I mean, you're doing what you have to do. You're winning fights. You're taking care of your body. But I guess you still have to fight the fights and win the fights.
hmm Yeah, it's like you said, man. There's so many factors, bro. There's so many factors, and like you said, like injuries. Obviously I'm
Mm-hmm.
coming off an injury, but I can think of a few guys who, man, had all the potential in the world. And yeah, like something happened and they could never fight again.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I feel blessed to still be here, man, and be able to compete. Yeah.
What's it like training and fighting through an injury like you sustained? It was a lower body injury. It was to your knee, I think it was, or somewhere in your lower leg.
It's my
So
name.
it's not like, say, like a guy like Surrey City right now, the UFC. He hurt his shoulder, right? So he's still training though. He can still do his cardio. He's still actually punching with his other arm, and he's just
That's
resting his
badass.
hurt arm. But like when your legs hurt, you still have to stand up. You still have to walk. You still have to
Yeah.
run. You have to jog. So how is it like a normal person training? They can sort of rest a bit, but as a fighter, you can't really rest because you have to use your body to prepare yourself for work.
Yeah, I mean, my knee's 100% now, right?
Mm,
I'm not working around it or anything. I wouldn't fight if I had to. That'd be pretty stupid in my opinion. But I mean, respect
mm-hmm.
to anybody who would do that. And yeah, obviously it was a long recovery process, man. I didn't even start sparring again like 100% until like it was like early mid August or something.
Mm,
But as soon
yeah,
as I like sparred and I didn't think about it, that's when I knew like, okay, I'm good. Because for a while,
yeah.
like it could have been good, a month or two prior, but I'm thinking about it. Like I'm guarding it. and which is natural, you know.
Yeah,
But that being said, like, yeah, when I like, it was the day I sparred, and I didn't even think about it until after sparring. I was like, okay, you know, we're good.
I feel good.
Yeah.
So after you had that realization that you figured you were ready to go again, how does it work? Does FLA reach out to you and say, "Hey, Christian, are you ready to fight?" Or do you call them and say, "Hey, guys, I'm good to go"?
Both. You know, they were asking me, and I guess we were just trying to figure out the timeline, right?
Yeah,
I'm grateful for FLA where they have scheduled events ahead of time, so I can ballpark it, Um,
hmm
but yeah, it just yeah, just good date, I guess.
that's great. So why don't we move on now and talk about your opponent this weekend, Jeff Craig? What do you know about him?
Um, Great fighter, man. He's beat really good guys, and he's only lost to really good guys. He trains at like a very high level striking gym, amongst other places. Like I just found out like in his interview not long ago that he cornered Tony Ferguson with David Goggins. So obviously he's got a good team around him. He's well connected, and yeah, man, he's a really good striker. He can wrestle too. He's kind of flashy. So yeah, be a good time.
What are your thoughts leading up to this fight? This fight in particular, what would a perfect fight look like for Christian Savoie? What would you accomplish?
I mean, if I go out and dust him in 7 seconds, that would be freaking awesome. But
Mm.
that being said, man, I don't know, man. The perfect fight, to be honest, bro, is just doing my best. As long as I show up and
Yeah,
I know, I was at my best, then yeah, let his will be done.
yeah, for sure. We were talking briefly before the interview started about fight week, and what does fight week look like for you? I know you're going to be cutting weight and getting all grumpy and all that kind of normal stuff. What does
Definitely.
your daily routine look like? You still do you still spar lightly? Do you still do any training, or just keep your body hydrated and moving?
Man, when I hear guys like sparring on fight week, I just think like you guys are crazy. Like pretty much, bro. Like I play by feel every time, but when I'm smart, I I like to taper like a week and a half out. And when I say taper, it doesn't mean like I just sit on the couch the whole time, you know.
Hmm.
But yeah, honestly, bro, like fight week primarily. I play by feel, but usually I'm just walking and stretching. That's kind of how I deal with it.
Yeah,
I keep my mind occupied. The steps will help with the weight cut naturally, and that's pretty much what I do, man. And just try not to think about food and just pee every 10 minutes.
yeah.
Speaking of that,
Now I'd imagine. Oh, there you go. Get her down, yeah. I'd imagine your walks must be a lot different now that you've got a four-legged friend to keep you company.
yeah, man, she's actually right here. I
What a
just
cutie.
got back from a hike with her today. Um, it's like an
Yeah,
hour hike. Um, yeah, it's raining out here, but I feel guilty anytime I can't bring her out. And my thought process was
yeah.
just like, I don't know when the day is that I'm like basically not gonna want to get off the couch heading into the
Mm.
weight cut. So yeah, taking advantage of it. She's the best.
Yeah, it's a great story too because I think your girlfriend, it was a surprise from her to you, wasn't she?
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. So I went through a bit of a dark time after surgery and being on the couch and stuff. Naturally, you know what I mean. I'm not like
Mm.
not saying I was like suicidal or anything like that. I just mean like it's pretty depressing me being a very very active person like and learn how to walk again, bro. I literally
Yeah.
I couldn't put weight on my foot for I think 6 or 8 weeks, and
Jeez.
then after that it took me probably 10 weeks or something to just start walking again. And
Wow.
so yeah, I'm kind of like getting off the topic, but very blessed for
No,
Kelly,
it's all the topic.
man. Very blessed for Kelly. She's the best for giving me the surprise of my life, and yeah, I
Mhm.
love that dog too much. We both do. Yeah,
I don't think you can love them too much. Dogs are awesome.
yeah.
So when you're going through a dark period like that, how difficult or how easy is it for you to maintain your motivation and your composure and just a general good nature and hope for the future when you're going through an injury like that?
I guess, man, it comes in waves. It will come in waves, as in like sometimes I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna come back from this stronger. I'm gonna be better. Like I'd use it as motivation. Then some days I'm like, this sucks. What the hell am I doing? Why do I do
Hmm.
this? Like all those thoughts come in my head. So, yeah, man, it came in those waves, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask something very personal of you. You can choose to answer it or not. It's completely up to you. I've never actually spoken about this topic with any other fighter I've ever interviewed before, but you've been pretty vocal a lot in the past, several months to a year or so about your faith and your trust in God and things like that. How did you become focused on God recently? And was there something that turned the tables for you? Were you always religious? I don't remember that coming from you before, but it seems pretty prevalent now in your mindset.
Yeah, and I actually really appreciate you asking me that, man. Um, uh, it was actually so I grew up like in the church and Sunday school sometimes, but like I feel like most kids, like I was just there for my grandparents, and
Yeah.
they didn't listen to a word and hated being there, to be honest. Um, but yeah, man, to keep it as short as I can. It was during COVID. Um, Very similar to the leg situation. I guess I was just going through like a dark time, and I just felt the calling, man. And yeah, God, Jesus, saved me during that time period, and I guess I've just become closer and closer to him.
Mm. I'm really curious to know a lot about this, but you just said you felt a calling. So for me, since I don't know, I'm genuinely curious. How does that calling represent itself? Is it something like you dream about it, or is it in your waking moments, or is it like a sign that something happens to you, or you see a sign in something that happened that you say to yourself that's God speaking to me?
Man, it was crazy, to be honest, man. Like, again, I was kind of going through a rough time. Because of COVID, I couldn't fight. I guess another situation where I couldn't fight, right? And I was very vocal on the vaccines and stuff. That's a whole other story. But um, um, where was I at? That being said, yeah, I just felt like, man, like every interaction I had was like something to do with God and Jesus, to the point that like I just submitted, like, all right, like what's this all about? And I just started questioning, like, why is it when somebody, you claim to be this spiritual philosophy guy or whatever, and when somebody says Jesus, it's like, keep that away from me. And it wasn't
Mhm.
until I made that realization that I was like, yeah, you should look into this. And, anyways, started going to church. First, like, year of church, I was like, I always had moments in there where I was like, the hell am I doing here? Like I'm going crazy. Everybody in
Mm.
here is crazy. Just being raw and real. And but yeah, like I said, man, in my opinion, I'm not trying to force my beliefs on anybody, but I believe it's the truth. And I'm just, yeah, man, I'm grateful that Jesus saved me.
Well, I'm really happy for you, man. I know it can make a big difference in your life, and it seems like you're running with it. So I'm happy for you. Good for you.
Thank you.
Okay, Christian. Before we get going, is there anything you'd like to add? Anyone you'd like to thank? Anything you'd like to say?
Obviously, I want to thank, like, my family, friends, coaches, all of that. I want to give a big shout out to J and N Metal Roofing. Roofing. The reason why I'm emphasizing roofing is because Kelly's in the other room, probably cracking up because she just gave me crap for not saying J&N roofing in my last video. So that's J&N roofing, and
Metal
all of
roofing.
my she's laughing, and all of my sponsors for the support, man. I love you guys so much. I can't name them all off the bat, but also Operation Feed St. John. Um, a friend of mine who's a veteran. He runs his business, and it's essentially it's what it sounds like. It's like a charity to help feed the poor community in the city. So
Mm.
God bless him and all our veterans, and I'm grateful for all of you guys.
Well, that's awesome. Christian, thank you so much. Best of luck this weekend.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate it, bro.
There you go, fight friends. Christien Savoie fighting main event FLA 22 this weekend.